Okay, this is going to be a real quick video on how to set up and run Zector Detector Pub Zcachd, which is a local explorer, meaning that it's going to run in our terminal and it will query a public free Zcachd node for various informations. Now, to use this, we're going to go to getblock.io and create a free account. We only need an email. We will create a shared Zcash node, and then we will use the IP address and the API key contained in the Explorer. This is for Linux, and it requires Rust and iNotify tools. Now, we'll go to getblock.io, and we'll click on Get Started for Free. It'll bring you to the sign up page. You'll put in your email, verify the email, and then you'll go into your account. I already have one, so I'm going to sign in real quick. Okay, once the page loads, you'll go into shared nodes. If you're in dedicated nodes, you want to come into shared nodes. The dedicated nodes are the paid services. We have 40,000 calls per day, which is about 5 per second and more than we need. You'll come down here to My Endpoints, select Zcash, search, select Mainnet, and select JSON RPC, and then click Get. And then you'll get a Zcash node endpoint address right here, also referred to as an access token. Now we'll copy this here in just a second. We need to clone into the Zector Detector repo. So we'll just copy this git clone command right here. We'll paste it into a terminal. Okay, we'll cd Zector Detector pub Zcachd and cargo run. Okay, now this will build out in just a couple of seconds. Now, we also need to apply executable permissions to these 6 files right here. We'll go into our home directory, Zector Detector Pub Zcachd folder, and we will select chain notify, action notify B, and action notify. Then we'll also select chain info 1, action 1, and action 4. So action 1, action 4, chain info 1. Okay. Then right click, select properties, select permissions, and select make the files executable. Okay. Now we're ready to go. The program compiles. It says enter your public address. Here's an example, and it's the first time, so there's no previous recorded input. Once you put it in for the first time, it will remember it and then ask you to verify it. So we'll come back here to our shared node account. We'll copy this address. We'll paste it right here. And now it asks for the API key or access token. That is this portion of the address right here. So we'll copy that and we'll paste it. Okay. Now, you can hit enter to refresh the blockchain information or input a transaction hash or block hash height. So we'll just hit enter to make sure it's all working. Alright, as you can see, we get some information: best block hash, blocks, chain work, chain tip, some the size of the chain, activation heights, and then shielded pool values. We can push capital R to get the raw JSON output. If we do anything else, it will just go right back here to the prompt to input another hash height or hit enter. But if we hit R, we can see the actual raw call, and we can see all of the information that the Explorer basically has to work with here. It doesn't monitor the transparent pool, and there are some other things that it doesn't return, but it does return quite a bit of information. So we'll just put in some random block height, 2, 2, 5, 7, whatever. And then we'll just hit enter. Okay, now we can see anchor bits, value delta, difficulty, the hash, the height, the root, the next hash, the previous hash. Trees, these are the transactions that were actually in that block, and then these are the values that were moved around. Either transparent, this was the actual Coinbase, this was the fee that was paid in the block, and then this is the shielded amount. Apparently this amount came out of sapling, and we can check that. We'll just copy this transaction hash and we'll paste it, and now we'll get information about this transaction. This was a spam transaction, pretty much. It's about 47 outputs, one single input, and we can see the value here. Now if we do this one again, just for an example, and we hit R, we can see what we have to work with here. Here are the transparent outputs, all these ones that say N. We scroll up, here are some information blobs about shielded spends, and some other things. But there is no actual input value at all, so it's not really possible to determine individual transaction fees that are paid. We could get a transaction fee from the actual full monitored amount. This is probably only a Coinbase transaction. Like I said, if you put in anything other than capital R, it'll just go right back. Okay, and also this was before the transparent monitor actually came about. So this was the miner reward, public outputs, Coinbase. Okay, and we'll put in a block hash. We'll try this one right here, and we'll get the same block that we just had. Okay, and that's it. Control C, cargo run from this directory to fire it back up. As you can see, you can put in a new address if you want, or hit enter to use the previous input. Enter. Same thing with here. We'll just hit enter. We'll hit enter again, and there we go, off and running. Okay, that's about it.